A few years ago, I rushed a sick woman, a neighbor, to the Bagada General Hospital. That was the night I understood the meaning of that word, emergency. You will never, I don't think you will ever understand the meaning of the word emergency until you find yourself in the A and E word, A and E, that's accident and emergency section of the hospital. And I truly will encourage you, to find time one day to just go observe what is going on there. That night was horrible. They were bringing in very, very traumatized people, accident victims. One woman came in there, her leg was totally shattered, blood everywhere. While I was there watching all these things, another person came in with gunshot wounds. And these things were happening throughout the night. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m., we were still there. Midnight. And meanwhile, the woman I took there couldn't even get attention. And the worst thing was that the hospital was so short-staffed. So people were lying down everywhere in pool of blood. And, that was the day I understood what emergency really, really meant. And that's why today we want to talk about how to build your emergency fund plan, even if you're penniless and barely surviving. Because what I discovered watching all that drama and all that chaos, the wailing, the crying, the confusion in the faces, the chaos. So what struck me was none of these people had ever imagined that that night was going to be that way for them. None of them saw it coming. The man that was rushed in there with gunshot wounds never knew. The woman, and she was with her child, the woman that had accident and her legs were crushed. Her legs were totally crushed. She couldn't walk. When she left her house that evening or that afternoon, she never imagined. She never budgeted for it. She never imagined. And that's how emergencies happen. They don't knock. They don't send you a text ahead of time to tell you that they are coming. They don't require visa. They just show up violently. And this is why it is impossible to be a complete and successful human being without having emergency plan, without having emergency fund, because life creeps up on you. So let me say it therefore at this juncture, that emergency funds don't make you rich, they make you ready. Everybody type that in the comments section. Type it. Remember, it's a coaching session, so I need you to engage. When I say you should type something, make sure you do it. It does something for you. Type emergency funds. Don't make you rich. They make you ready. So the goal of emergency funds is not to make you rich. And you can't say that I'm not rich, therefore I don't have an emergency fund. No. Emergency fund is not for the rich. Emergency fund is for the wise. Type it as I'm talking. Type it. Don't just watch me. Type it. Participate. So emergency fund is not for the rich. Emergency fund is for the wise. And by the time we are done today, I'm sure you will start your emergency fund if you do not have it. Because every day I get all these messages from total strangers. I mean, what would give the total stranger, I just imagine the kind of desperation that a total stranger, just because you follow me on Facebook or YouTube, to send messages, I can't eat. My wife is pregnant. We are expecting a baby. We can't pay hospital bill. Total strangers. And I'm often asking, where is family? Where are friends? Where are the members of your church, of your mosque or community? Where are the people in your neighborhood, where you live, your neighbors? And then you're reaching out to total stranger. So that just shows that there is some real desperation. So many of us, I have been, before I used to be a little bit, maybe you could say harsh on people, who go around begging whenever they find themselves in emergencies. Until I really, after interactions, with thousands of people, I began to see that some people are actually trapped in the system. They are not begging because they want to. They are not reaching out to me because they want to. Because I even think about the loss of dignity that is involved in reaching out to a total stranger to beg for money. So I understand that there are people who have been trapped by the system. Sam says, please, I need WhatsApp number to register for the financial fitness challenge. Okay, so if you're listening to me, just take it down, but I will also put it in the description. Take the number down. So it's plus 234, that's for Nigeria, 8088 000111. So let me say it again, plus 234 8088 00011. Just say, send me the payment details. The financial fitness challenge is 125,000 naira to participate, and we are doing it every month right now. And there is early access right now for only 105,000. So if you pay today, or you pay as we are rounding off this, you're getting a discount of 20,000 naira. I really want you to be part of it, because one of the things that we handle is also building your emergency fund. So as I was saying, there are people who are genuinely trapped in the system. It's not because they are lazy. They work hard, but they just cannot save. They just cannot put anything aside. And then everything they earn is consumed by rent, consumed by food, consumed by mere survival. I see it, I feel it, and it is very, very humbling. There are people who have reached out to me, very hardworking people, very hardworking men and women, but they just found themselves in that situation. But what I want to show you today is that even in the middle of your pain, I want to offer a flicker of hope, because the truth is, the human spirit is very resilient. It doesn't matter your condition today. It does not matter how bad it really is today. You can turn it around. You can turn it around. It doesn't matter also the fact that the system has not been designed, to support the poor, truly. But you can raise yourself, because many of us, including people like me, started from struggle. As a graduate, I couldn't get a job for 2 years. I know you know about all the Shell story and Chevron story, and then my working with Stanford Seed of the Stanford University, but those were all later. When I started, there was no job. I was trapped. I worked hard. I applied 2 years, ran around the whole place applying. I couldn't find a job. I didn't have a house, so I was squatting in the slum in Makoko. I was squatting in Makoko of 1988. I'm not talking about Makoko of today. You go to Makoko, it's like London today compared to Makoko of 1988. I finished my youth service in 1989. That Makoko was a proper world renowned slum. You wake up in the morning, you go eat to bed, your room is dry. You wake up in the morning, the floor is wet. It's terrible. So I know what it feels like to be trapped and to feel forgotten by and to feel not included by the financial system. But I want you to note 3 things I'm going to say now. Please note it, type it as fast as I'm saying it. You can't save what you don't earn, but you can plan for your fear. Is this somebody's aha moment? You cannot save what you don't earn, but you can plan for what you fear. And you can be sure that emergencies will come. They have come for me in many ways. My own precious mother took ill. It was an emergency, because nobody plans to be ill. It was an emergency. And then at some point we needed to fly her outside the country because we wanted to save my mother's life. And there were also house rent emergencies that I've gone through. I couldn't pay house rent. I had a wife and beautiful children, a beautiful wife and lovely children. And I ran the family aground, by my poor financial decisions as I was leaving Shell. So there were emergencies after emergencies of not being able to pay my school fees. So I've been there. So this is not just motivation. This is not motivation. I'm not a motivational speaker. But I am giving you a strategy tonight that you can start working on to create your emergency fund, even if you're penniless and barely surviving. So the first thing is, you can't save what you don't earn, but you can plan for what you fear. Number 2, being broke isn't a sin. Type it. Being broke isn't a sin. Staying broke without a plan is a trap. Every one of you, everyone, is a requirement. On YouTube, type it. Facebook. Being broke isn't a sin. Staying broke without a plan is a trap. Therefore, after tonight, you cannot go back and sit down and fold your hand and say, well, I don't earn enough money. I don't even have a job. Therefore, I can't have an emergency fund. No, no, no. I've just destroyed that excuse because I've told you that the emergency fund is not for the poor people. It's not for the rich people or the poor people. Why? Because emergencies happen to everybody. As long as emergencies do not discriminate. The rich people are also having hectic, they're also having emergencies. And the emergencies are far, far, far bigger than what you can think, what you can imagine. So, being broke isn't a sin. Staying broke without a plan is a trap. And then statement number 3. Even if you earn like a mouse, you can still save like an ant. And it will amaze you just how powerful that is. Okay, so let's look at situations where people have gone from being penniless, from being broke, from barely surviving to becoming financially strong. Isn't that what you want? Type in the comment section. Say yes. Yes, you want to go from a position of financial weakness to a place of strength. So, how have people done it? How have people lifted themselves? In parts of Africa, in parts of Europe, how have people, and America, how have people lifted themselves to where they are barely surviving, to where they even have emergency fund? So, it goes by different names, okay? There is the Ajo, but I think that the one that is very, very popular is the Esusu. Okay, type Esusu, Esusu. So, and I'm going to tell you what Esusu is. Most of you know. And then those of you in Nigeria who know Esusu, please type the meaning in the comment section. And I want those of you from Ghana, from South Africa, from the Caribbean to tell me what you call it in your own language. Okay. Now, before I explain Esusu, I want to say that Esusu isn't poverty. The people who are Esusu leaves people from poverty. Esusu is financial intelligence in local language. Because every time I go to the market and I see these market women and these traders, you know, so, okay, see the way Esusu happens. 6 friends come together. And because they are 6, it's going to be 6 months. So they decide, okay, every month, we are going to contribute 1 million. And then we pass on that 1 million to one of us. One of us gets it in January. In February, we do the same thing. One of us gets the 6 million, that is 1 times 6, in February. Then all the way till June. And they can repeat the same cycle if they want. And the beautiful thing about that is that all of a sudden you have 6 million. And they can start a small business you've been wanting to start. So, this strategy has lifted so many people from poverty because it leverages on community. Okay, it leverages on community. We can't all have it at the same time, but let's support one another in terms. Okay, so if you truly have nothing, don't suffer in silence. Find your tribe, even 5 people, even 4 people. Start small. Agree to support one another, not just in emergencies, but with structure. Because the most important thing you need, if you are in a position where you are broke, you're penniless, and you don't have much, and all you have is struggling, you're struggling every single day to feed yourself and to feed your family. You're struggling every single day to move yourself, to transport yourself from point A to point B. You need structure more than you need money. You need structure more than you need money. Okay, so you may not be able to save alone, but you can start saving with others. Okay, so now let me talk about the role of dignity. And we are talking about emergency fund. And you need to understand the role of dignity in having your own emergency fund. And dignity is so powerful. It's such, we have it. We are born with it as human beings. But somehow our dignity falls under attack because poverty is not just about money. It's about dignity. Type it in the comment section. Poverty is not just about money. It's about dignity. And in fact, if you ask me, I would even say it's more about dignity than it is about money. Okay, so when we don't have a plan, we always have to beg and hope that someone else will save us. And it's not usually possible for someone to save us. It's not, a lot of people make plans based on other people's money. And I can tell I can tell, when people, relations and friends are making plans based on my own money, I can almost hear what's going on in their head. Okay, he's running this program. He's selling honey, and he says he sold 50 bottles. So it means that he has 50 times 18,000. People make calculations, make math on your own money. They make math on other people's money. Okay, that his child has finished. That his child is working so place. Okay, if that child is always giving him $1,000 every month, then he should. So they're making calculations on your money, not on their own. And it's not possible. Because you see, when 1,000 people are making calculations based on one person's money, it's not possible. There's no way I can carry everyone. There's no way. But you'll be amazed the requests I get every day. If I tell you what I've spent today alone on requests, somebody had accident, serious accident, and then the person's back was broken. The person needs money. The person didn't have 0 naira. And this is not like family member or somebody. I've not even seen this person. We've never even met face to face. Okay? So, just today, another person, house rent. That person has to move from where the person is this month. And something had to be raised. I did that. How many people can I do this for? How many? And then everywhere I hear people, oh, he's stingy. He's stingy. As in how? As in how? How can I carry your problem? How can I be your emergency, what do they call them now? I can't be your emergency, whatever, carrier. I can't carry your emergencies. I can't carry everybody's emergencies. This is why it's important that you build your own emergency fund, because it gives you dignity. Not every time there's a little thing, you're over there begging. My wife wants to, somebody kept on sending messages. Like, the person came to Facebook, sent me messages, followed me on WhatsApp, kept on sending messages. And what was he saying? My wife is pregnant. My wife needs to deliver. My wife. What about dignity? What about dignity? There's a pride in, look, this is my wife. I made her pregnant, so I'm taking responsibility. Do you know the loss of dignity it takes for a man to start begging, telling another man, oh, I made this woman pregnant and I can't pay her bills, I can't feed her. So it's serious. So it's not just about money, but the loss of dignity. And so when you don't have a plan, then it means that you're planning to beg. Okay? So what do? Start with one idea. I might not have a lot, but I won't be without a plan. So type that in the comment section. Type it. I may not have a lot, but I won't be without a plan. You need to develop that mindset, that attitude. I may not have a lot, but I won't be without a plan. So you may not have a lot, but never be without a plan. Okay, so when I was going through very difficult times and I was struggling with paying the children's school fees, it was a huge struggle, but I was never without a plan. And because I always had a plan, every morning I had to leave the house to go look for the money for their school fees. Everything was school fees focused. I was always with a plan. And then sometimes the plans were failing. One plan failed. I remember one of my plans was to sell fruit juices. Yes, I sold fruit juices. I sold fruit juices by the side of a road. I will put on a loudspeaker and I'll be dancing and selling tiger nut juice, selling pineapple and ginger juice, selling orange juice, selling carrot juice, and all kinds of things. I did. As an ex-Shell staff, I did. I sold by the roadside because I had a plan. Every man needs to have a plan. So you may not have a lot. I didn't have a lot at the time, but I always had a plan. One plan failed after another plan, but you will never catch me without a plan. Okay, so I may never have a lot, but I won't be without a plan. Okay? And then to those of you like me, who are financially stable, I can imagine in Africa it's such a big problem. And then there's also the black tax problem. For many of you in the diaspora, you live in UK, you live in America, and then the black tax phenomenon, the expectations from the people, because you're over there. But they don't know. I keep telling them, because I come over there, I travel to the US, and I see you people, I meet you, I see how tough things are. And then one of you watching me here, you used to have 3 jobs in Houston. You used to have 3 jobs. And then when I came to your house, you were hardly there, like just 2 hours, 3 hours a day. You were hardly there for the children. But the people here at home don't know. They just do calculation. $1,000 times 1.6. That is 1.6 million. Brother, send me $1,000. They have no idea how you're living there. Okay? So, what do? Instead of sending people handouts, my brother, instead of sending these people handouts, the struggling, poor people, buy them a course. Enroll them in the financial fitness challenge. Let them learn to fish by themselves. And if they refuse to attend the class, then they have signed up for poverty. Leave them. Okay? So instead of giving handouts, let's help them to build structures. Let's teach. This is why for 1,000 days, starting from August of 2024, I committed that 1,000 days I'll be doing what I'm doing today. Every day, showing up, teaching you free, because I cannot carry you. But if you can listen to what I'm doing, what I'm saying, watch what I'm doing, join the classes I'm teaching, you can learn within this 1,000 days for free. Many of you who hire me as coaches, you know that you pay from $300 per session. And then many of you cannot afford it. Look at what I'm giving to you for free. Because it's better for you to give you structure, to give you learning, to give you understanding. And I'm teaching these things. There are worksheets also available for you to implement these things. So let's teach them. Let's partner. Let's empower instead of just giving handouts. You see, because people don't just need charity. They need tools. And above all, they need dignity. Okay. So what are the practical steps as we round off? What are the practical steps? And I want to give you 3 statements before we go to the practical steps. Number 1, your emergency fund is not about wealth. It's about peace. Please type it. Type it. Take 5 seconds. I'm waiting for you. Or pause the video if you're watching on YouTube and type it. Your emergency fund is not about wealth. It's about peace. And you need this peace while building your wealth. Because if you do not have this emergency fund, one crisis you have at 45 will send you back to the poverty which you escaped 20 years before this time. I see it all the time. It's brutal. At 45, a family member now has cancer. And they need to fly her to India. They need to fly her to all these places and things like that. So all the money, all the wealth you accumulated since your 20s when you started working, because you can't leave your loved one. You can't leave your loved one. You sell the land that you have been banking, your land banking. You sell your land, you sell your property, you sell your house. And then unfortunately, most times, the people pass on. And as they are passing, because I know a family this has happened to, they spent everything. But the person still passed on. Double tragedy. So, your emergency fund, I have been stressing it. It's not about wealth. It's about peace. Peace. Yes. Yes. Peace. Yes, I can see in Judaica, peace. Right. Okay. Number 2. Save something before you buy anything. Make this a mantra. And for those of you who have children, please teach them. Teach them early. Teach them from when they are 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. To save something before you buy anything. I live by this thing. Listen, I'm not rich. But I'm wise. Now I've been saying it. And I'm not just kidding. I'm not rich because you cannot see all these people we have been seeing on social media in recent times. Obi Kubana, E-Money, all those people that show us all these things. They know Melaya and things like that. Those are rich people. I'm not. I cannot stand side by side those people. But I'm wise. And these are some of the things that make me wise. I'm contented and satisfied and happy. Save something before you buy anything. Why? Because all the money that comes into your pocket has 2 parts. There's the seed and then there is the bread. The seed is for the sowing and the bread is for the eating. But what do we often do? We eat up our seed and our bread and then wonder why we struggle financially. Number 3, don't wait for a breakthrough. Start with a backup. Many of us are waiting for breakthrough. Some big contract, some big client that will just come, give us a copywriting contract, give us a freelancing thing, and then we get $10,000. So, no. Stop waiting for breakthrough. You cannot predict breakthrough. Start with backup. How do you do that? Step number 1, track what you spend. Just tracking what you spend is powerful. Because you may save 200 naira here, 100 naira there, and you think it is not a lot. You see that 200 naira that you can save. There's a place, when I joined Keke here, in this town, there's a place that I can take Keke for 200 naira. But it's workable. I'm working it. I'm also getting mobility and exercising. So many of you who meet me say, oh, you don't look 60. It's part of it. Because money and health and all these things, all these fitnesses go together. Yes, I do save 200 naira because it's not a matter of the amount of money. It's the discipline. It's the habit of saving. So track what you're spending. Then sometimes, yesterday, I joined the public transport. The day before yesterday, I joined public transport interstate to go between two state capitals. The trip was just 1 hour going, 1 hour coming. When I drive my vehicle, if I drove my vehicle, that trip would have cost me 60,000 minimum, 60, 70,000 naira. In fact, that trip would have cost me 70,000 naira going and coming. Because my truck uses diesel. It's such a big truck. And I'm not carrying anything, and I'm not moving anything. Because it's usually very good, when you are moving things, moving people, moving things. Then I go with my big truck. Now, 70,000, that's what I would have bought in diesel to make that trip and then driven it by myself. But what did I do? I went out there and joined public transport. Do you know how much it cost me? 2,000 naira going, 3,500 naira coming back. 5,000, then there is keke in between, 6,000 naira. I have saved. Okay, so you might see me on the road. Oh boy, you're trekking. You don't? Yes, that's why. Because I look for opportunities. I look at how I spend and I look for opportunities to save money. Because it is the discipline, the habit, not the amount of money. If I can walk it, I'm not going to spend a dime. I'll walk. And I don't care if you see me on the road. Look at this man who tells us about money. He's walking. You don't know what my plan is. Yes. Number 2, join or form a mini saving group. If you don't have any, you can join. Form one. And then some of you working in your offices, join the cooperative. If you don't have it, there's no cooperative, start one. So many of the companies I have been consulting for, I go there and I tell the CEOs, like some of you who are business owners here, I tell you, the biggest struggle that your employees have is financial. While you might not double or triple or 10x their salaries, there's something you can do for them to help them manage their finances. Start a cooperative for them. Okay, and then they can be pulling their monies together and doing incredible things. We had it. I was part of the Shell cooperative, part of the Chevron cooperative, and those things helped me. Number 3, save in small visible ways. If you're just starting, you can, in those days we used to use bottle or use piggy bank and things like that. But today there are apps, banking apps that actually allow you to be able to save. So just save in such a way that you remove temptation, the temptation to go back to do that. In fact, the way I do my own is a bit advanced. Once something comes and I need to save from it, I send it straight to my investment account. Straight there. It's harder to reach it there because to reach it, I have to write my investor, my stockbroker, I have to write them. Okay, say I want this money and all that, I want to withdraw that. And that process, it reduces temptation to go after that money. So do the same thing for yourself. And most importantly, please learn how money works. Learn how money works. Financial intelligence will set you free. For many of you having financial troubles right now, you are just one skill away to making millions. What is that skill? Selling skills. Learn to sell. Learn how the money system of the world works. Learn how money works. This is also what we do in the Financial Fitness Challenge. Learn how money works. Because when you get educated, all the money that you can ever make is here. It's in between your ears. It's not in the market. It's in your mind. Therefore, you need to develop this. And above all, please don't give up. Don't give up. Things won't always be like this. But the moment everything I've told you tonight gets into your awareness and sticks, you will surprise yourself. If you start small, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you will not recognize yourself. But when you look at it, you have been like this. You've been struggling for the past 5 years. So why not do something different? This thing I'm telling you to do right now. And then watch how your next 5 years will be very, very different. Whatever happens, Please start today. Start your emergency fund today. If you need to rewind to go back to replay this video, it's always on YouTube. If you're not following me on YouTube, you're missing a lot. You're missing strategies. So every day, there are almost 600 videos on my YouTube, like this one. People send me testimonials just sitting on my YouTube channel, how their lives have totally transformed. So go back to the YouTube channel and watch this replay over and over again. Take notes. And then above all, enroll in the Financial Fitness Challenge. It's monthly right now. And so send a message to the WhatsApp number in the description, +234 8088 000 111. Just send the message and say, send me details to enroll. And then we'll send you the bank details and everything that you to enroll. But whatever happens, keep showing up, because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I see you same time tomorrow.